Srivasadi Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I've just joined in for because I'm just completing the first canto, and we will be going on for a Kartik vacation for 1 month. So we'll be resuming back after 1 month. So regarding that, I just want to discuss. I want to just take quick input from all of you. We are concluding with the 6th unit today, and after that, some more time will be there. 2:45, I think, in 5-6 minutes, Krishna will join in. Then he will finish the canto 1. Then he'll start with the second canto, first chapter. So we are planning to have the closed book assessment for this unit on next Sunday. That is 29. So today is 22 plus 7, yeah, 29. So in case you feel that 28 and 29 is too early, we want to have it on 5th along with the open book assessment, because open book has to be submitted by 5th night 10 p.m. Feel that closed book also you want to give on the same day, then the second today Krishna will take start with first chapter canto 2. Next weekend 28th we will continue the canto 2 first chapter. 29th will also take, and then 4th onwards he will complete first 2 chapters, 28, 29, 22, 28, 29, 4. Then 5th will be our closed book, and then from 5th till December, first week, we will give what will not have classes on the occasion of Kartik. So you can give your inputs, which is comfortable. No, Prabhuji, today the last class, coming 29th we'll have the closed book, 5th we'll have the open book, and that's it. From 29th we don't want anything, and whole Kartik will not have anything. We'll again resume on Kartik is ending on Purnima 28th November it is ending. So from 28th means from 2nd again we will resume in that case. Or no, Prabhuji, let's have first and second chapter. We will start from 9th December. So 1 week we will complete 2 chapters, have exams, give off. Then instead of 2nd, we will start from 9th. Which one is comfortable? Devotees can give their input. Anything is okay. Anybody has any particular choice? If no choice, then we will freeze with. We will complete 2 chapters of Canto 2. Then give off from 4th. Give off from 11th onwards. That means last session will be on 4th. 5th will be your closed book exam for unit 6. And then we'll again presume on unit 11th, 12th is off, 18th, 19th is off, 25th, 26th is off. 3 weeks off is fine, or you want 4 weeks off? According based on your how much time you want to complete the Bhakti Vaibhava course.
Prabhuji, I think this 29th, Ratan.
Not audible, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Dandavad. If both exams, open book, closed book, in the first week of November, that will be more convenient, Prabhuji. So we'll get some more time to study also.
Yeah. So therefore, I'm telling, 5th of November is the date for submission of 4th November for, okay, 5th or 4th, whatever it is. Open book is the last date. It's like you can submit it before that any time. So 5th is closed book exam, and then 5th night at 10 o'clock, open book exam. Or we can make it 6th, Monday, 10 p.m., 1 day after a closed book exam. So if that is the case, then we'll complete first 2 chapters of second canto. Krishna will get 4 days. Then in 2 classes, we complete 1 chapter. So in that way, we'll be able to complete first 2 chapters of canto 2. Then we'll resume back on 9th. So you want 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because 29th, 30th, because we are having 1 week extra in Kartik. So in that way, if you want, okay, we want need 4 weeks Prabhuji, then fine, we'll start on 9th. If you know Prabhuji, fine, 3 weeks is fine. We need to complete the syllabus quickly also, then we'll start on 2nd. Okay, Anand Mohanpur is okay with it.
Yes, bro. 5th
3 weeks.
November, we can, 5th November we can have some exam.
Okay,
So,
and then again resume back on 2nd.
Yeah, 2nd or 9th, whatever you feel. I mean, we are.
I'm because I'm taking from input from all of you, because you are all students, and the syllabus generally is 32 units we need to cover. So that means 1 unit goes for 4 weeks. Basically, 12 units 1 year, 24 units 2 year. So then 8 more units. So in that way, it is 2 years 8 months. We start in April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 units we should have completed. We have completed only 6 units. So that is the reason I'm little bit, we want to accelerate it. That is the reason I'm asking. Therefore, I'm just finishing 2 units before we end, so that we can make up for that 1 unit pending. Basically, we want to complete it by 2 year 8 months. It means April 2023 we started, May 24, April 24, April 25. By 26 Jan or Feb, we want to complete all 32 units. From your side, only thing you need to do is you have to switch on the videos and attend the programs. Close book, open book, and sloka test will take care. We'll give sufficient time for all of you. That is one sincerity we want from all of you. Regular attendance. Okay. Other things will take care. Fine. So, how many all of you could give the shloka test? How was it giving 10 shlokas? Okay.
Yes,
Very happy.
it was nice.
Okay. So further shlokas test will be 15 shlokas. Okay. 15 shlokas. So those who could
So
not
if we
give
can get recording, so we can. If we can get the recording, so we can keep on hearing, because hearing, it makes us remember it nicely.
Okay. I'll try to get it done to some devotee. If nobody is there, I'll try to get it done to myself and try to send it. 15 shlokas.
Thank you, bro.
All shlokas. Yeah.
प्रभु जी 15 श्लोकास बहुत ज्यादा है.
हाँ 15. आपको मैं बताता हूँ, हिंदी जो भक्ति हो रहा है अपने BVRV में, उनका श्लोकास है 20 है. They have 80 shlokas, so they have 4 shloka test of 2020. तो उसके लिए मैंने पहले 10 क्यों किया, क्योंकि 7 हमारे पास है, तो उसके लिए 10 we completed and we want to do it 15 4. In Bhakti Shastri we have 12 shlokas. Next shloka test will be in just before Gaur Purnima.
March.
After Nityan Trodashi. As soon as Nityan Trodashi ends, like Purnima, Narottam Das Thakur Parents Day Purnima is there, we will start from that. So that it is done. Because why? First 29 shlokas are from first canto. So you only complete 10 shlokas. So even if you take 15, that means you'll cover only 25 shlokas. So first canto is done. So we have to be updated with the shlokas. So therefore we are giving you time again, November, December, January, February. So mostly in last week of February, we will have the second shloka test. We have enough time, 4 weeks. And I'm telling, if you, only thing is you have to just keep on, it's called patanam. Keep on reciting it. Automatically it will come. One thing is, as Anand told, hearing it. And along with hearing, you should keep on reciting it. Every day, 15 minutes, you keep on reciting it. It will become by heart. That's called patanam, easily. So I think most of you have given. Those who could not give, and they have not written any mail or not taken any permission in terms of mails and other things, please prepare for 25 shlokas on February last week. Okay, I'm just telling one protocol for all of you. All of your initial devotees, quite senior, and although you're trying to do the Bhakti Vaibhava, so you don't want to make it too tight. are to so loose that it's like it's not like a course. So just we want to give that freedom also. At the same time, we want to give that option to all of you also. And we're deciding all the exams, all the shloka test, all the closed book submissions. Have you seen till now that I have told all of you that this is a day you have to submit on this. This is a day you have to give shloka test. All the meetings, all the exams, all the meetings, we have just taken meetings. All the exams, before scheduling any exams, shloka test, we have taken meetings. And we have taken the dates from all of you only. And so that maximum of you try to give the exams. So in case you're missing it, because for scheduling again, we need to take help of some Bhaktivedanta or Bhaktivedanta devotee to take the shloka test, and they themselves have to attend the course, and after that again they have to give their exams. And then again, if I ask them, you have to teach also, then after that they have to take the shloka test also. They have to take some time, and they have their own departments, so it becomes a little tough for us. So therefore, for this, because it's the first unit, first shloka test, first assessment, those who could not give the shloka test, before our second unit starts, the second once, that means on from 2nd December onwards. So as soon as Maharaj Yatra ends, 25th to 30th, we will have another assessment of shloka test for those who could not complete it. And 25th to 30th is also the day, 1 week time for those who could not submit the OBAs. If some pending OBs are remaining, please try to do it before 25th. And if you could not complete any closed book exams, please do it. Aim for 25 so that you can complete it by 1st, so that we can start the new session from 2nd December. But I'm telling, because if something remains pending, then it becomes like it's like an ice ball. Initially, it's very small. It keeps on piling, and then you tell, okay, let me drop the whole course. So therefore, I'm just trying to give some suggestions, thought process, which helped me to do these courses from last 7-8 years. So I'm just sharing with you that don't keep anything pending. We'll give enough time for all of you. We will schedule, because the first canto is just getting over. So scheduling shloka test for all of you before 25th November. Please complete it. Okay. And whatever pending closed book, open book is remaining, 25th November is, it's not like deadline, I'll tell. It's an impetus for all of you, so that please complete it, so that it becomes very simple for you to carry on with the units. Okay. Any questions from your side? So this is regarding the assessments, and coming to the next session, which will start from December. ISKCON Board of Examination somehow has allowed us for online Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, and in IBM they had started, but they are all trying to close it off. VIHE, MIHE, they are doing it. But what is a strict, one of the important, I'll not tell as a policy, but as eligibilities, when we are in a class, physical class, we sit in front of a teacher, student, we are present there, and we are involved in it. So there is nothing like, okay, we have to be there for the 2 hours. So similarly, if you are in online, we are in our rooms only. So we want, what is only expectation from BVRB side or as a primary teacher is, please do switch on your videos. Okay. And if you want to drink sip water, if you want to fresh up, keep the videos on, no issues. Just go do it and come. Otherwise, what happens is, then there is no meaning to the course, because all assessment is online, shloka test is online, and courses is happening and videos are off. So from Canto 2 onwards, attendance will be very, very strict. I don't want to use this word as strict. I just want to make, like all of your students, as I told, all of you spend quite enough time in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, I don't want to use some words by which you are put off. But as the coordinator, as a primary teacher, I just want to facilitate that this is a very nice, important way for us to dwell into Prabhupada purpose. What we can read in 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, a whole chapter. Teachers are trying to prepare from Chakravarti Thakur commentary, from Prabhupada commentary, from different lectures, and trying to give. So please make best utilization of it, because once you complete it, your notes is ready. You don't have to again try to hear it. And if you drop it, if you attend it, if you are not able to attend it, if you are absent, then to go back to again and to hear recordings is almost impossible. Physically, if you are not able to hear, what to speak of recordings. Therefore, somebody is joining late or somebody is missing. I don't believe in the concept of going and hearing recordings, because almost nobody does it, very rarely. So for exams, we need to have videos on. For classes, please do keep your videos on, and try your best to complete the assessment as and when possible. Complete it, unless there is very emergency situation at home and other things, that is exception. I can understand some of you are having it, but for those in general, try to prioritize this course, because after 1 year, 2 years, you'll understand. Once you complete it 60-70%, that time. Otherwise, most of the time, what happens, maximum dropouts is in between first and second canto. So somehow you cross first, second canto, third canto, then it's done, almost done. Third canto is done, means almost done. But next Kartik, fourth canto will start. So just little bit exert yourself, pull yourself, plan your schedules in such a way that you are able to attend the sessions with videos on. Okay, Hare Krishna. That is from my side. And if any inputs, anything is there, Anush has my mail ID, so all of you can write a mail to me. If you want to miss some sessions, some units are not able to write exams. Although we are taking meetings and still you are not unable to give the exams, or give the shloka test, please just drop a mail to me, so that I can convey to BBRV Dean, Academic Dean, Administration Dean, Examination Evaluator, that I just got a mail like this. So please do consider this one. But if I don't get a mail, if I don't do anything, then it becomes difficult for us to go back to the examination board and tell them to again schedule for the exam, because it's an official course. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, and all the best for your further journey in the Bhakti Vaibhava and for the vacations of Kartik. So if all of you agree, we'll complete first 2 chapters, and then 5th November we will have the closed book. 6th November we'll have the open book assessment. Then again we'll rejoin on 2nd December onwards. So Keshav will take the first 2 chapters, and December onwards mostly will complete 3rd, 4th, and the further unit we'll have I should do another teacher for it. Hare Krishna. Any inputs? Anushabu, Keshav is ready.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm just not clear with like what have we decided. Like what is fixed for?
Yeah,
are we having exam on 5th or 29th?
5th.
What is okay?
5th is okay.
And we'll have class in 4th. Yeah. We'll give you time for all of you to prepare OB, CB. So 5th is the exam.
Okay, Prabhuji.
And then we will resume back on 2nd December, Saturday.
Hare Krishna, for Unit 6 closed book questions, mark weightage is not given for the question, so that we don't understand like, how much answer should be, whether it should be short or appropriate answers.
1 minute. I think my signal is very less. It's breaking. Probably regarding the closed book, there is 2 things: closed book short answers, closed book long answers.
Okay.
And many of the closed book long answers, they are open book essays. So which are the open book essays? I have sent it to Anush Prabhu regarding that.
Okay.
Which are the long books, so that you do not attempt for that. But the closed book short answers, either it will be 2 marks or 3 marks. For the board, you need to write 2 to 3 lines.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And for the long closed book long answers, 4 or 5 lines, because it's 4 marks. Basically, the main point has to be reflected in the theme.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Okay.
Guruji, I will also request BBRV if they can send marks like they had sent earlier. If
Yeah,
possible.
basically our Adi Bhagwan, who is a batch coordinator for Bhaktivedanta, he does it, but his health is not good. That is the reason I'm also not pushing him much. He did all this in before he was admitted, but you can just put. So Adi Bhagwan is a point of contact for it. Okay.
Okay,
Now
Guruji, sure.
BVR is office, so they will not be able to help anything. So there are specific specifications for anything regarding batch. You are present. You have some reasons. You are missing some assessments. You can always write a mail to me. If something rescheduling has to be done, then it becomes easy for the batch coordinator, course coordinator. That is Adi Bhagwan too, for Bhaktivedanta batch. He's like a course coordinator. Anything has to be concerned regarding questions, open book, anything, shlokas. Adi Bhagwan was a course coordinator for it. And you want to know your attendance, you want to know anything regarding the batches, you want to give some input regarding the examination, other things. Anush, who is the batch coordinator, so he's taking care of the batch for this Bhakti Yoga. So anything regarding any input regarding teaching or anything, you can always send a mail to me, or you can send a mail to Adi Bhagwan too. This is with the course coordinator. So these are the three point of contacts for timing for this Bhaktivedanta batch. Okay. So fine then. I think Keshwan will start. So this today and next Saturday, Sunday, and November 4th. This 4 days probably will take 2 units, 2 chapters, and then 5th we'll have the close book. Then for consecutive 3 weeks we'll not have any classes for Karthik. Then from 2nd December onwards we'll again resume from 3rd chapter of 2nd canto.
Prabhuji, 4th
Hope
November there is
everybody
Govardhan. 4th November there is Govardhan Puja in temple. So can we have
that
not
temple,
exam on this?
Govardhan Puja is in evening, na Prabhuji? Govardhan
Not
Puja is in
fully
evening.
sure.
Sharad Purnima is also evening, but your program is in 2 to 4.
But for
My
Govardhan
only
Puja,
concern is
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, for Govardhan Puja, we have to make preparations, seva in the temple. This is,
cooking seva.
yes.
Okay, Govardhan Puja exam preparation. No issue. We will have it till 29th. Okay.
Okay,
4th will
Prabhuji.
not have. 29th. So that you get enough time. So you have 4 weekends off. So resume back on 2nd December.
So Prabhuji, when will the exam be? Sorry, when will the exam be finally?
5th November.
Okay, 5th November. Okay.
Yeah, and please don't give me reason now. Prabhuji, Govardhan Puja is there. So can we again shift it on 11 November? Then Mara Yatra will be there. And after that again, it will go to next month. No. Either 29th or 5th. You decide one among them. 5th, then 5th. Irrespective of Govardhan Puja, irrespective of anything. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji, from my side.
2nd December will start. Yeah, 28th, 29th. Today, 28th, 29th, Unit 7 will start. 3 classes will happen. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Please continue. In 3 minutes, 2nd canto will get over. In 6 more minutes, 3rd canto will get over. Basically, in 9 months, half the way Bhakti will be done. So, keep with this tempo. The course will get completed very soon. Hare Krishna. So, I'll take all of your leave. Any inputs is there? Mail ID is put in chat. Please can give me input regarding the course and other things, regarding teaching, regarding anything, the way you want assessment. It has to be done particular way. Let us know. We'll take your input. Have a meeting with BVRV Academic Dean Committee. Then come back to us. Hare Krishna. So, but I'm just announcing next Shloka test will be in the last week of February. 15 shlokas. 11 to 2, 15, 25 shloka of first 11 to 25 shlokas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, we'll start our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, definitely. We need tests. We need to go through all these, though it's very, very difficult and tough to study, to give exam, but still they are needed for our purification, for our learning. Okay, we continue our. But I felt this 29, today is 22nd, 28, 29, we have three weekends, 3 days, 6 hours. 2 chapters, I think it may be difficult. Each chapter has 2 classes. Let us see. Okay. Fourth we don't have class. Is it, Anuj bro? So we don't have class.
Yes, Prabhuji. After
So
fourth,
first and second chapters have around 39, 40 verses. Okay, let us see how it goes. 37. I think we can concepts are. Let us see. This is the last portion of 19th chapter. I will start with short prayers and then we'll continue. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। So we are in 19th chapter, almost the last section, last 4-5 verses. Of course, you might have. We are reading all the summaries also, last 2-3 weekends. The situation and the context is that where Parikshit Maharaj receiving Sukadeva Goswami here and is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami. Of course, he received the sages, all the sages, and sages, he appreciated them, he glorified them. He asked the questions. When he asked the questions, 2 questions, they could not come to a conclusion, common consensus they could not come to. So they desired appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. So Sukadeva Goswami appeared, and he was well received, and now he is appreciated by Parikshit Maharaj. In 2-3 verses, we have seen how the appearance of great souls. Esham samsmaranat pumsam satya shuddhanti vaigraha kim punna darshana sparsha patsav chachanadhi. Simply by remembering them, we'll be purified. What to speak of? Receiving them, touching them, washing their whole lotus feet. So offering them some service. So he gave example. Just like when the Lord is there, Lord's presence is there, then there is no question of any demon's presence. Demons at once will be vanquished by the presence of the Supreme Lord. Like that, all the sins will be vanished by the presence of great souls. So that's he glorified like that. And then now from today's verse we'll start. Api me Bhagavan Pritah Krishna Pandasutta Priyah Paitras Svachela Prityardham Tadgotrasyat Bandavaha. Please read.
Lord Krishna loves Pandavas, so me as well. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives, just cousin brothers. A pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interest more dexterously than others who are attached to illusory family affairs.
So now, though he is glorifying Parikshit Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami, and he's saying the favor done to Pandavas, and I am in connection with Pandavas. So Lord Krishna is favoring me as well, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousin brothers. So this is humanity is expressing here how Lord Krishna is considering him also as a great relative, because Parikshit Maharaj is connected to Pandavas. So of course Prabhupada mentions about family relationship. A pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interest more dexterously than others. Because just by being connected with a devotee family, and a devotee serves and he renders great service, just like Prahlad Maharaj example is given by Prabhupada. Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee, but his father Hiranyakashipu was a great atheist and declared enemy of the Lord. But despite all this, Hiranyakashipu was awarded salvation. And of course, Lord also gave a benediction that 21 generations will be delivered. So that's the prerogative of a devotee's family also. What to speak of devotee himself. Lord is so kind that he gives all protection to the family members of his devotee. And thus the devotee has no need to bother about his family members, even if one leaves such a family member's aside to discharge devotion. Sometimes it may happen that one may leave, just like great souls like Prabhupada. He left his family members for the sake of service to the Lord. So Lord will definitely take care. Sometimes it may appear that the family members are suffering when the main family member leaves the family for the service of the Lord. But it is only externally it may appear, but spiritually they will be definitely benefited by the Lord. Of course, materially also, Prabhupada was very much helping them in the end for family support. So similarly, any devotee also, because devotee has a soft heart and he definitely understands. He is not attached to the family, but he is affectionate to the family. Attachment and affection are entirely different. just like the Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. The Dhritarashtra has attachment to the Duryodhana, but in the relationship of Dhritarashtra and Vidura, there is affection. So the attachment brings down one from spiritual life. So Dhritarashtra was very much attached to Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra knows he is doing wrong to the Pandavas, but still he himself mentions, I know what I am doing to Pandavas, but I can't go away from my son. So that's how he was attached to Duryodhana. So because Duryodhana was doing something wrong, so Duryodhana also dragged down Dhritarashtra in the sense that material attachment he had. So that brought him down from a spiritual platform to material platform. Whereas Vidura had affection towards Dhritarashtra. So he brought up Dhritarashtra from his material well, which he was caught up in. So that's how the affection and attachment are quite different. So we need to have affection towards family members. Attachment, if it is trying to bring us down in spiritual life, then that is not a very favorable situation in family. So we need to elevate that attachment to affection. So that's the main point here, where he is saying that I have a great relationship with family. That's why Krishna is favoring me, because I am attached to, because I am connected to Pandavas. That's the special mercy on me. Krishna is favoring mercy on me. So text 36. Anyata te vyaktagater darshanam nah katam dranam nitaram riyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyasaha. Please read.
Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death?
Yeah. Highlighted portion.
The spiritual master is the manifested representation of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. One can achieve the ultimate success going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord's sending his true representative. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee for going back to Godhead just after leaving the present body. This, however, depends on the sincerity of the devotee himself. The Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus he knows very well that the movements of all individual persons. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends his bona fide representative. The sincere devotee is thus assured by the Lord of going back to Godhead. The conclusion is that to get the assistance and help of a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord himself.
Yeah. That's Lord is Parishit Maharaj here is very much grateful for the Lord, who, without being inspired by Krishna. How is that? How is it that you have voluntarily appeared here? So unless Krishna inspired you, then you will not come here, because you are Adrishki, you are a liberated soul. There is no need to come here at all. But still, because Krishna is favoring me, Krishna is very kind to me, he sent you. So Prabhupada is bringing out that point of spiritual master. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. So spiritual master and disciple relationship is always sacred and very glorious. That's how one receives a spiritual master, by the mercy of Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So by mercy of Krishna, one gets spiritual master, and by the spiritual master mercy, one gets Krishna. So it's a very interrelated relationship. By seeing the sincere desire, as Prabhupada very much mentions, the desire, the Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus He knows very well the movements of all individual persons. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends His bona fide representative. So we can see in our lives, somewhere in the corner of our hearts, we had some desire to pursue something higher than the material life, something higher in human life. Either we are connected to some spiritual family, our parents or whatever, or we came in touch with the devotees by the mercy of the devotees, whatever. But there was a small desire to be connected to something higher in life. So that's how Krishna arranged some situations in our life. So we came in touch with some devotees, and then we are pursuing a desire to continue ahead in spiritual life. So, but the conclusion, Prabhupada here writes that to get the assistance and the help of Mohammed spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord Himself. That's how we need to see, as yesterday we are trying to discuss, that we are trying to see the hand of the Lord in our lives. That Pareshanubhava, that experience of the Lord in our life, the more we see it, the more we are nourished by it, the more we are becoming strengthened by it. So that we need to understand the presence of spiritual master or any mentor in our spiritual life means that it's a special mercy of Lord Himself directly. So that way we need to be very much confident about our spiritual life. Text 37. Atah pruchami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yat karyam nriyamanasya sarvadha. Please read.
You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die. Unless one is perfectly anxious to inquire about the way of perfection, there is no necessity of approaching a spiritual master. A spiritual master is not a kind of decoration for a householder. Maharaj Parikshit is the right type of disciple because he puts forward questions vital to the interest of all men, particularly for the dying men.
Yeah. So now he is Pariprashna as a disciple, as a Tadvidhi Pranipata and a Pariprashna in a Sevaya. So he is asking question now. So the same question he repeats, I am therefore begging you to show me the way of perfection for all persons and especially for one who is about to die. Same two questions he is put forward to Parikshit Maharaj, to Sukadeva Goswami. Of course, Prabhupada is bringing out the principles. So unless one is anxious to inquire about the way of perfection, there is no necessity of approaching spiritual master. Right? Not a kind of a decoration for the householder or any person. It's not a spiritual master. Prabhupada always mentions that he cannot be like a household pet dog. A spiritual master cannot be a household pet dog. I have a spiritual master to show people, or having a photo in home that I have a spiritual master. No, it's a serious business. Spiritual life is a serious business, and definitely it's a joyful life. Susukam kartum avyayam, but at the same time it has a gravity. It has a gravity of gravity of taking spiritual instructions and spiritual master seriously and trying to follow him to achieve the success in spiritual life, which is very difficult to perceive with normal eyes. What happens to next life, no one knows. Even after initiated, even after chanting and all, great devotees, definitely they know what is exactly happening. Pure devotees may understand, but in general, devotees don't know There is no difference between, exact difference between outsiders and devotees in terms of seeing the future, what happens after that. But based on Shastra, based on spiritual masters and experienced devotees and the previous acharyas, that Shastric Shraddha has to keep on increasing day by day. Otherwise, Lok Shraddha is there, then it may be sometimes it cannot go far. Lok Shraddha, okay, I have a spiritual life, I have some religious life, I am disciple of someone. So I have to have some spiritual life. That's good. That's in India, generally it's considered a very auspicious to be connected to some spiritual organization, going to temple once in a week, giving some donations to temple. That's okay, that's good. But to become more and more serious in spiritual life and seeing the actual benefits of spiritual life, it needs a serious attempt, it needs a serious thought and gravity. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Anxious to inquire about way of perfection, there is no necessity also for a spiritual master. So Sadharma Puricha, yesterday we are discussing NOD, Sadharma Puricha, that's the main business of the disciple. One need to inquire from spiritual master. So that's the way of progress. Otherwise, if you are not inquiring at all about spiritual life, about different stages of life, then there will not be any much progress. One has to have some inquiries. Unless one is practicing, there will not be inquiries. Right? Unless one is seriously practicing spiritual life, there will not be inquiries at all. But suppose a student is not studying, then where is the question of getting him some doubts? Whether he is getting some doubts in the text lessons. Right? If a student is not opening books only, then there is no question of any doubts. When he is studying, when he is trying to understand, then he may get some questions. Then he has to inquire, understand the subject matter. Similarly, the more we are seriously practicing, then we may definitely Lord will keep on helping. Tesham sartektanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mamapyantate. How to achieve Krishna, how to come to Krishna, closer to Krishna. We will be revealed from inside. Definitely that is there. By rendering service, by trying to understand Krishna more and more, we will be revealed inside, and also we inquire from seniors and the mentors or counselors, etc. So that's the main point Prabhupada is bringing out, to take spiritual master seriously. Text 38. Yat shrotavyam ato japyam yat kartavyam nrubih prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. Is it?
Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me.
Both is asking what should hear, chant, and remember, and what one should not hear, one should not chant, one should not remember. Both Anvaya and Vyatireka, Viparyayam. So this is the way of understanding any subject matter. The more you try to understand what it is and what it is not, then it becomes more clear. In any subject matter, either material or spiritual, this is the way of trying to acquire complete understanding with Anvaya and Vyatireka. 639. Nunam bhagavato brahman gruheshu gruhamedhinam na lakshyate hi avasthanam apigodohanam kvachit.
O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough for a cow to be milked.
Yeah, please underline statement.
So a saint like Shukdev Goswami would hardly stay at the house of a householder for more than 5 minutes in the morning. In other words, such saints are very rarely seen in the houses of householders, and Maharaj Parikshit therefore prayed to him to instruct him as soon as possible.
So he is here, the glory of Parikshit Maharaj is again indicated. You don't stay at all at one place, even for a small time. But you came here and you are sitting with me now. And I want to take advantage of that. So you'll be staying for 7 days, not for just for 7 minutes, but 7 days. I want to take all the advantage. So he's mentioning in this verse. Prabhupada explains how saintly persons, they hardly stay for some time. Especially Sukadeva Goswami is only 5 minutes just to drink the milk. To support his life. That is the external reason that the saintly persons visit the householder's life, family. This is explained in maybe I think 10th canto by Nanda Maharaj. Saintly persons visit householders not for just for the sake of sustaining the life, but giving spiritual knowledge to the householders. That's the main reason Prabhupada explains. Externally begging is only external reason. They are begging their time for Krishna consciousness. So that's the main reason they go, not just to sustain for their life. They can sustain life in anywhere. Forest also, they have so many things to eat and drink. But they go just to benefit the people in general. All the 6 Goswamis, they used to go for Madhukari just to benefit the people in general. So that's the way of wanderings of the saints. So Sukadeva Goswami also. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying that I want to take advantage of your presence. Suto vacha evam abhachita prishtaha saragna slakshnaya gira pratyabhashata dharmagno bhagavan badarayanihi. Yeah, please. Hare Krishna. Your voice is breaking.
Hare Krishna, shall I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, please.
Translation. Sri Suta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply.
Yeah, continue.
Thus, the end of Bhaktivedanta purpose of the first canto 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Sukadeva Goswami.
So, here completed in 3 volumes on February 20, 1965, the Vyasa Puja day. Who's Vyasa Puja?
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It comes in February, appearance day. Disappearance day comes in December 31st or January 1st. So this is in 1965. He started in 1962, the first volume. So he made into 3 volumes, 19 chapters. So that's the special mercy on us by Prabhupada. It took around 3 years to complete 3 volumes. I think we completed maybe in 3 months. I think so. Maybe 3 or 4 months, I think. 4 into 4. 4 or 5 months. Okay, but the first canto is like an introduction to the whole 12 cantos. I think you might have heard about first canto. It's just like introduction to the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And now the actual conversation starts between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami starts replying to the questions. But definitely these are all the Srimad Bhagavatam first of this. These are all spoken by Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami also. So this is the end of first canto. We pause here the first canto, and then we start the second canto. So, of course, just to give a summary, let us see the summary of 19th chapter. Just a quick summary. So, in the 19th chapter, we have seen how Parikshit Maharaj was going back to his palace after being cursed by Shringi, and when he was going, he was repenting. He was repenting basically. How he did a mistake, though he was not a mistake apparently, but his response internally and externally, his responses were spoken in 1 to 7 verses. He was repenting and he was desiring to undergo some kind of calamity for himself, not for the family also. Let me undergo some calamity so that my family members doesn't suffer for further reactions of my mistreat with Brahmana. So we can see here how a devotee internal and external responses when he commits a mistake. And then we have seen how when he took up a vow sitting at the banks of Ganges, by understanding, Parikshit Maharaj has taken a vow of fasting until death. So all the sages came to know, and he received them, and he expressed his humility. How sages generally they don't at all talk to what to speak of entertaining them. So he expressed his humility, and he understood it as a special mercy of the Lord, just by having the sages, all the sages. And he understood it as a special favor of the Lord. That was his perception. And he had aspirations. If I have to leave immediately, let me have three kind of Navruchi, Vaishnava Seva, and Jivdaya. Maitra Stuna, Sarvatra Mod Vijayabhyaha. Punascha Bhuyat Bhagavatyanante Ratim Prasangarsata Ashrayeshu Mahatsuyamyam Upayam Srishtim Maitra Stuna. So all the three he asked aspirations, and then he asked the 2 questions. Of course, same theme repeats when Sukadeva Goswami appears, because the sages could not come to a conclusion. He also receives and he expresses humility and he appreciates Sukadeva Goswami's presence by glorifying into 3 verses. Just by remembering you, we are purified. What to speak of rendering services, small services. So that's how the 19th chapter is ended, and we are into second canto, first chapter. Okay. So I think we have around 45 to 15. We have around 45 minutes. Maybe I think we can complete second canto. First 2-3 chapters are Prabhupada also gave very wonderful and very elaborate purports. Very heavy section also, where Sukadeva Goswami is trying to reply the 2 questions. First, he starts with Parikshit Maharaj asked what should be heard, what should be remembered and chanted. Shrotavya, Kirtitavyasya, Smaratavya, all these 3. What to be heard, and Vetrika is also asked what not to be heard, what not to be chanted, what not to be remembered. So Sukadeva Goswami starts with that one, and what not to be heard, what not to be chanted, what not to be remembered, in the first section of second canto. So we will see that one, and then we will see how it goes. But at least I think we can complete 13-14 verses today. Please read the summary of 2 sections.
Sukadeva Goswami describes Maharaj Parikshit's questions as glorious and beneficial to all. People who are too attached to materialistic life and family are Grahamedis. He describes their symptoms and then points out one's actual duty to hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead. This will lead to perfection of life.
Next.
Sukdev Goswami cites his own life as an example to demonstrate how even the topmost transcendentalists take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Sukdev Goswami will now recite that very Srimad Bhagavatam he heard from his father for Maharaj Parikshit. He recommends the process of constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord for all, whether one is free from desires, desirous, or self-satisfied, and cites the story of Maharaj Khatwang to demonstrate that even a moment of full consciousness can bring perfection of life.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want to ask Anush Prabhu, Unit 7 exam is till first canto. This is also included in second canto also.
Only first canto, Prabhuji. 17, 18, 19 chapter.
Okay. Okay then. So I thought, okay, maybe I have to rush through to complete. Then it's okay. Then we'll try as much as possible. We'll try to see how much can be done. May not be 2 chapters will be complete because only this class we have small time, and then 28 and 29 2 classes. Yeah, let us see. Okay, this is the second canto, first chapter. Prabhupada gives us some initially summary also for this canto, and for the previous canto also he gives in his first commentary, first purport of the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Invocation starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yeah. Oh my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So please read. Who is next? Underline portion.
In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the principles of creation are described, and thus the first canto may be called creation. Similarly, the second canto, the post-creation cosmic manifestation, is described. The different planetary systems are described in the second canto as different of the universal body of the Lord. For this reason, the second canto may be called the cosmic manifestation.
Yeah, Prabhupada gives the names of the cantos based on the topics. Especially second canto is little bit of technical, and you have to bear. Why the second canto 10 chapters are little bit deals with technical subjects, creation and sub-creation, and quite summary in the sense. But it's a very wonderful section of 10 chapters. So that's why it's the cosmic manifestation. Prabhupada gave name as the cosmic manifestation. So of course Prabhupada summarizes the previous canto and especially 19 chapters. 19th chapter. He says mainly how Parishit Maharaj was a devotee of Lord Krishna from childhood. So he had natural affection for Krishna. So Vaibhava could understand his devotion. Therefore, he welcomed the questions about king's duty, because the king hinted that worship of Lord Krishna is ultimate function of every living entity. So Vaibhava welcomed the suggestion and said, because you have raised the questions about Krishna, your question is the most glorious. So that's all. Prabhupada explains how Parishit Maharaj is very dear to Krishna and personally favored by Krishna, because he is also connected to Pandavas. And that's why he personally sent Sukadeva Goswami to help him in this process of self-realization. Through him to us, of course, they are great souls. We understand their role, as we read in purports by acharyas, that they are special characters chosen by Krishna to teach us as well. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was chosen, though he was a devotee, though he is a very dear friend, but still he was put into illusion. just to teach us through him. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam as well. Samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam. So for the sake of all the samsarinam karunaya, for the all those who are caught up in the samsara, for their sake also Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken. So definitely it's Paramahamsa Samhita, but at the same time for everyone as well. Okay, first verse. Shri Shuka Uvacha Varyanesha te prashnaha krito lokahitam nrupa atmavit sammatah pumsam shrotavyadishu yah paraha. Is it?
My dear king, Srila Sukadev Goswami said, My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter of hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists.
Yeah, please read.
Even the very question is so nice that it is the best subject matter for hearing. Simply by such questioning and hearing, one can achieve the highest perfectional stage of life.
Yeah. So first, Sukadeva Goswami is appreciating the questions. Varyaneshte Krishna, Shito Lokahitam Rupa, because it's Lokahitam. It is also it's beneficial for everyone. Shrotavyadishu Apparaha. Para, it's supreme. What can be heard from any person, it is topmost subject matter for hearing. So that's how he appreciates the question. Generally, when a speaker in a classroom and somebody asks a question, when a speaker appreciates the question, it becomes more wonderful. The discussion becomes more thick, the relation becomes more thick between speaker and the hearer, speaker and the listeners, audience. So Prabhupada also glorifies. Prabhupada exclusively brings the point from Srila Vishwanath Thakur. Even the very question itself is so glorious. Vishwanath Thakur mentions that just by hearing the questions only we can get so much benefit. What to speak of hearing the answers. That's what Vishwanath Thakur mentions, that among the questions about what is to be heard, what is to be chanted, and what is to be remembered, this is the best question, the ultimate question, because there is nothing higher. That question alone, if heard, chanted, and remembered, will make people completely successful. And furthermore, by hearing the answer given by me to that question, you will become more successful. So that's how Sukadeva Swami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj. But just the questions, if heard, chanted, and remembered by people, complete success. So what to speak of giving answers? Of course, Prabhupada many times encouraged his students, students in the sense his disciples, to ask questions, and also many times he encouraged devotees to approach their authorities for asking questions, and he encouraged definitely to write to him. But as the movement grew, he assigned many of the things to his disciples. But he always mentioned, anytime if you want to write to me, you can always write to me. But sometimes somebody sends some irrelevant inquiries which students should not have asked from Suchi Master. And for them, the restrictive circular was issued. So Prabhupada was sometimes, because of the neophyteness or because of immaturity, people ask some very vague questions. Sometimes one devotee asked Prabhupada that what is the relationship between Balaram and Srimati Radharani? I think in a class or in a conversation. So Prabhupada said it's an absurd question. So, what is the relationship between Balaram and Srimati Radharani? There is no any kind of seriousness to the question. Prabhupada understood what is the intention of the question. So he just dismissed it. So questions has to be also quite relevant and also with much seriousness. That's what Sadharma Puricha, the explanation of that Sadharma Puricha, Rupa Swami mentions that the mood and intention has to be to advance in spiritual life, not only just to get information. Definitely we need some details, some questions about spiritual world, about relationships, about how the personalities of spiritual world. Definitely they are very much enlivening and very much inspiring to us when we hear. At the same time, it should not be too much of irrelevant, absurd, and especially the intention is sensed by the speaker or the person who is giving answers. When he senses, then he may not. Especially Prabhupada doesn't give any kind of a response to those kind of questions. Of course, in one of the famous purport in 1 to 5, Prabhupada writes about these questions and answers. Many times he keeps on repeating questions and answers. Because now we don't have much time to read completely. But next devotee can read this para. Yeah.
Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father, or son, an object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So, if we cannot live for a moment without being questioned or without giving answers, because Srimad Bhagavatam deals with the questions and answers that are related to Krishna, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and make an all-around solution to all problems pertaining to the social, political, or religious matter. Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things.
I think you missed this point that so if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. So this is the main point that was missed. So that's the anyway. Prabhupada explains in this purport that people are always asking. There is only question and answers in the life. Birds are also asking questions and answers. The birds and beasts and men are all busy in matters of perpetual questions and answers. In the morning, birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers. In the evening also, same birds become busy. Back again, become busy with questions and answers. So everyone in schools and colleges, in family, everywhere there are questions and answers only. But they have to be centered around Krishna. Then only there is complete satisfaction. That's what Prabhupada's main point is bringing out in this purport, beautiful purport. So of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, in the sense that Bhagavatam is about Krishna and Bhagavad Gita is by Krishna. Both are Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha in two ways, by Krishna and about Krishna. In two ways we need to always be in touch with Krishna Katha. So as long as teacher is not proud and the disciple is not obedient, not disobedient, puffed up or impudent, they can exchange spiritual questions and answers. And do not inquire in a challenging mood, and the one who answers should remember the lotus feet of the Lord, so that the right answer will be given. So that's how the relationship between teacher and student and the spiritual master and disciple. Teacher should not be too much proud, and disciple should not be disobedient, puffed up, and impudent. Then only there will be proper exchanges of spiritual matter, which will give rise to spiritual advancement. Otherwise, there will be some just information passage. Of course, nowadays we have internet, and anyone can access any information from throughout the world. So there is no dearth of information right now. But the transformation, it cannot happen just by information. The transformation happens only by submissive hearing and rendering some humble service to spiritual master, pranipata, preparation, seva. How much ever gigabytes, terabytes, and whatever bytes we may have information and presentations. It cannot transform the life. There has to be assimilation and application for transformation. Otherwise, it's simply a decoration for the external beauty only. It may appear beautiful, we may have so much of knowledge, it does, but it will not have any transformational effect in our life. So that's what the main point Prabhupada brings out this purport. It's a very long purport and very wonderful purports in there. Because second canto, Prabhupada started writing, translating after going to US, and with so much of experience and so much of he's already pure devotee, and with lot of experience in preaching field, especially in Western countries, and to be relevant to the people of the Western audience also, he was quite successful and effective in terms of putting forward the arguments and putting forward the philosophy. Such a beautiful purport these are all. So in regards to this purport, he's saying that Maharaj Parikshit wanted to absorb his mind completely in Krishna, and such absorption can be affected by simply by hearing about uncommon activities of Krishna. Ito loke itam drupa atmavit sammata punsam sapabhyajibhyas paraha. Because it's connected to Krishna. So these are all glorious. Okay. Next to Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nranam Santi Sahasrashaha Pashyatam Tattvam Griheshu Grahamedinam.
Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society. O Imperial. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Please.
In the revealed scriptures, there are two nomenclatures for the householders of life. One is Grihastha, another is Grihomedi. One, the Grihasthas are those who live together with wife and children, but live transcendently for realizing the ultimate truth. Second, the Grihomedis, however, are those who live only for the benefit of the family members, extended or centralized, and thus are envious of others.
Yeah. So here, thank you. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, first of all, the subject matter. He glorified the questions put forward by the Parikshit Maharaj. And he's saying that there are thousands and thousands of subjects to talk about. But unfortunately, those who are Grihomedis, Prabhupada will explain the difference. Grihasthas and Grihomedis. They are caught up in all these other subject matters than Krishna. So that's the main point he is mentioning here. So mainly Prabhupada brings out that Grihasthas who live together but live transcendentally. That's the main point. Grihastha means that they live together with wife and children, but live transcendently, not for the sake of any material enjoyment, but only for spiritual advancement. That's the main central point of Grihastha's life. As Prabhupada mentioning, Grihomedis means they are extended or centralized for their own benefit, for their own, and they are envious of others. Yeah, generally the term Medhi, Prabhupada explains that it's of jealousy. Medhi indicates jealous of others, envious of others. Jealousy and envy are quite different. Jealousy means I want what others have. I also want it. If two children are there, if one child has a car toy, then I also want another toy, another car, the same car, whatever. That kind of jealousy. Envy means you try to do something harm to others to get the same thing, or to drag them down. So if we are not harming others, then it's kind of a jealousy. Envy is a little more deeper one, which is we try to do something harm to others to achieve the same thing, or at least we try to do harm Whether we achieve or not, that's a different matter. That's the envy. So Prabhupada, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining that they have so many subject matters to talk and deal with, because they don't have apashyata matatattvam, because they don't see the central point of spiritual life. So then it becomes then they will be all caught up in the miseries of life, all caught up in other things other than the subject matter for self-realization. They forget about everything about self-realization. Then it's a Brahmadis. Of course, Prabhupada once mentioned in one of the lectures mentioned who is a Grihastha. Grihastha, not only a person who has a wife and children and is living in a home. Anyone from a perspective of Gita second chapter, also in the fourth chapter, I think he mentions Navadvare Pure Dehi. Dehi, the soul, resides in the Navadvara Puri. This is the body itself is a kind of a house. Especially Mother Pingala expresses this understanding. Maybe in the 11th canto, I think it comes. Story of Mother Pingala comes, where she says that this body is like a house for the soul. So in that sense, Prabhupada mentioned in one lecture that everyone is a Grihastha, because every soul is residing in a house. Right? House is made up of bones. They are compared to all the pillars. She gives a beautiful understanding in 11th canto, how the body is like a house with all structures inside. Yeah, this is also everyone is a grihastha in that sense. Then everyone, if one is not interested in self-realization, if one is not endeavoring for self-realization, then apashyatam atmatattvam, then he is a grihamadi. If one is only endeavoring for either is a brahmachari or a grihastha, if one is focused on only material satisfaction of the facilities given by Krishna, then his life is wasted. Apashyatam atmatattvam griheshu grihamedi. Then one will not advance in spiritual life. Then one simply will be concerned about birth, old age, disease, and death. But the ultimate solution, as Prabhupada mentions here, the ultimate solution to the problems of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. So all the problems that we are trying to deal with, though we are trying to deal with birth, old age, disease, and death, cannot be solved by any other question and answers. Scientists are also trying to find out the solutions for all the miseries, especially the old age, disease, and death. Ultimately, everyone is either medical research or scientific research. Whatever research, they are ultimately trying to find some solutions to all these problems of life, but it's not at all possible. That we need to be convinced based on Shastra. However they may try, it's not in their hands. It's a beyond science. It's a trans science. Science only deals with matter, but spirituality, especially spiritual life, deals with spirit. That's how Prabhupada mentions. Prabhupada is always very emphatic on this point. If we see all the lectures and all the conversation, Prabhupada's first point, he talks that we are not the body, we are the soul. And we need to find the solution for all the problems of life. There is no solution except Krishna consciousness, except spirituality, and exclusively Krishna consciousness. So that's how we need to understand that all the questions and answers has to be centered around Atma Tattvam, Pashyatam Atma Tattvam, not the Apashyatam Atma Tattvam. If we don't see the Atma Tattva, then everything will revolve around all this birth, old age, disease, and death, trying to solve in material way. So that's how we advance by endeavoring in self-realization. So they do not know how to utilize this propensity of hearing for ultimate good. So Prabhupada bringing out point here, Shrotavyadini Rajendra, that special facility is given in the human life, that propensity that we have, that we want to hear something, we always want to hear something, right? Everyone is bored with normal life. They always want to hear something exciting. Or they want to, of course, nowadays, audio visual became so much rampant. So everyone wants to experience something higher, hear something, see something. So the propensity is there, but they don't know how to utilize that propensity for ultimate good. That's what Prabhupada is here is saying, that misguided as they are, they also create some false literatures about the name, form, attributes, etc. of the ultimate truth. Of course, at one level, materially they are trying to satisfy their propensity hearing and seeing. And at a higher level, even philosophical level also, people are misguided about different names and forms and attributes. But only about Krishna can ultimately satisfy. That's what Prabhupada wants to bring out. Okay, next text 3. Now, so as we discussed, the Sukadeva Goswami, he is first saying that what should not be heard, what should not be chanted, and what should not be remembered. Is that one should not chant about material things which is not connected to Krishna. One should not remember which is not connected to Krishna. One should not hear what is not connected to Krishna. That's how he's explaining about materialist life. It's not exactly about what Grihasthas in Krishna consciousness, in ISKCON, we understand generally. It's about materialist life, what they undergo. Of course, it's about my own previous lives, definitely, in one sense. My previous lives in materialistic life, how I underwent all these things. Prabhupada and Sukadeva Goswami is explaining how my previous lives were materialistic life. Okay. Nidriyahre naktam vivayena chavavayah divacha rajan kudumba bharanena va. Please read.
The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family members.
Please.
The present human civilization is primarily based on the principle of sleeping and sex indulgence at night, and earning money in the day and spending the same for family maintenance. Such a form of human civilization is condemned by the Bhagavata school.
Yeah. Ahara nidra bhayamaitram cha samanametat pashubirnarana dharmo hi tesham adhipo vishesha. So as we have heard and many times, maybe might have given classes also about this human life exclusively meant for self-realization, not like a materialist trying to squeeze out some happiness from the material things. How much we may try to, the principle is here is mentioned that how much we may try to derive some happiness from the material things, it's quite tough to satisfy the soul. So I just want to share that Prabhupada, the purport yesterday I was trying to say, that's a beautiful purport. Let us go through once. There Prabhupada explains how the soul is very much hankering after great happiness. But unfortunately, we cannot at all derive happiness through any kind of material things. Yeah. So I just share this thing. Okay, you can read it. Please read this portion. Yeah, please read.
Yes, the whole material world is full of hungry living beings. The hunger is not for good food, shelter, or sense gratification. The hunger is for the spiritual atmosphere. Due to ignorance only, people think that the world is dissatisfied because there is not sufficient food, shelter, defense, and objects of sense gratification. This is called illusion. Although the living being is hungry for spiritual satisfaction, his hunger is misunderstood to be material hunger. But the foolish leaders cannot see that even the people who are sumptuously materially satisfied are still hungry. And what is their hunger and poverty? This hunger is actually for spiritual food, spiritual shelter, spiritual defense, and spiritual sense gratification. These can be obtained in the association of the Supreme Spirit, Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore one who has them cannot be attracted by the so-called food, shelter, defense, and sense gratification of the material world, even if they are relished by the denizens of the heavenly planets.
Yeah. So that's how the whole material world is full of hungry living beings. Yeah. Prabhupada's prophetic lines, very profound lines. The whole world is full of hungry living beings. Hunger is not for good food, shelter, and sense gratification. The hunger is for the spiritual atmosphere, because the soul, we are all longing for ultimate experience in connection with Krishna, but we are unable to find where to seek that happiness. Everyone is endeavoring, especially nowadays. If I see anything that I try to see in modern way, especially nowadays, the hairstyles became so modern, so funny. That hankering, that what Prabhupada is mentioning, that I could see that they are hungry for something new. So everybody is hungry for something new and something very exciting. That can only happen in the spiritual world, right? The spiritual world is Navayavan. It's always ever fresh, ever new. We always sing Navagauravaram, Navapushpasharam, Navabhavadaram, Navalasyakaram. So spiritual things are always new and fresh. That which is anchored by soul, it's very difficult to experience in this material world. That's why people keep on trying to find something new hairstyles, new this, new that, new laptops, new mobiles, new cars, new ways of decorating various things, something new. Definitely, when we apply to spiritual things, that's good. I mean, in one sense, when we have something spiritual, that's okay. But people will not be satisfied with something material. It's always very much dissatisfying to the soul. That's why people always want something new and fresh in terms of styles, in terms of dressings, in terms of usage, anything. Because the soul is hankering from inside for that ultimate experience. So the more we understand that, the more we can come away from this material so-called urges of the body. What Sukadeva Goswami is saying, that these are the urges of the body. Various urges of the body. Definitely you might have read in NY, Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada beautifully writes in first verse, the urges, and the commentary of Srila Bhaktivedanta Rajavidyalaya. All the urges arise from the identification with the body. The more we identify with the body, the more we identify with the urges that it produces. So that's why we all have a kind of regulations in all the activities. So the more we regulate ourselves, the more we less identify with the body, the more the urges of the body will disturb us. So the more we keep on feeding them, the more urges will become more and more intense. And it's quite difficult to control the mind and senses. So here the main point was raised by Sukadeva Goswami, that these people are very much after all these things, especially satisfying the urges of the body. then it will become quite tough to realize the human value of life. Apashyatam atmatattvam graheshu grahamedin. So here Prabhupada says the materialistic way of life is described here in a nutshell, and how foolishly man wastes the boon of human life is described as follows. This is in principle he mentioned in that verse, and how it is extended is saying in the next verses. Text 4. Dehapatyakalatradichu atma saineshu asatsapi teisham pramatto nidhanam pashyan api na pashyati.
Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire about the problems of life, do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. This material world is called the world of death. Every living being, beginning from Brahma, whose duration of life is some thousands of millions of years, down to the germs who live for a few seconds only, is struggling for existence. Therefore, this life is a sort of fight with material nature, which imposes death upon all.
Yeah. So here he's explaining more about the details of how the material life goes on. So they have they consider those who don't have this Atma Tattva, those who are devoid of this self-realization, are endeavoring for self-realization. So they think that they are attached to all these soldiers. It's a very, very, poetic usage, Atma Shaina, fallible soldiers. Because one thinks that they will protect me, my house will protect me, my bank balance will protect me, my children will protect me in my old age, my children, whatever. Everybody has that kind of understanding. Everybody, including me, previously, at least previous lives, definitely I have undergone all these kind of experiences. Everybody will protect me, but no one protects no one. That's the main philosophical point that Sukadeva Swami is trying to saying that here, and Prabhupada very much emphasizes on this point, that every living being, first he starts with all the living beings, every living being, including Brahma. So they are also fighting with material nature, though the impending death is there. Then he comes to human life. So this human life, a living being is competent enough to come to an understanding of the great struggle. Because all other lives cannot understand, but the human life can understand the struggle. And even in human life also, Prabhupada explains that although he has sufficiently experienced in this matter, by dint of his past experience and previous examples of his deceased predecessors, he does not see that so-called fighting soldiers like children, relatives, and society members. They cannot protect me, or they are not. They will be fallible. They are fallible. They will not come to any kind of a protection. Protection in the end of life. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning, and Prabhupada is giving a warning. So one should examine the fact. So everyone is living, everyone is living the body. Everyone should understand these facts. And one should take precautions, and one should strive for spiritual life. That's the main point Prabhupada is emphasizing. No one will survive in the struggle with material nature. So one time, one person came to meet Prabhupada, and he was quite stubborn, quite proud of his education and his position. And he was meeting devotees also, but he was not willing to bow down to the deities when even requested by devotees. After coming for some time, then one requested, these are the deities, these are the Supreme Lord himself. Then only one gives respect. Respect means in the sense bowing down. So he was quite adamant to bow down. So the disciples mentioned to Prabhupada that he also came, that he was also there, that he said, I cannot bow down to deities or devotees. I said, okay, definitely, if you don't bow down voluntarily, and material nature will make you bow down in due course of time. That's what Prabhupada mentioned with heavy grave words. So, if one is not voluntarily bowing down, material nature by force will make you bow down to what? To old age, to diseases, and to death. At death, everyone has to bow down, right? Finally, everybody has to bow down. Death. But Dhruva Maharaj did not bow down to death. You will read in 4th canto. Who has conquered the death? Death bowed down before him, before Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj stepped on the death personified and he boarded the airplane, the Vaikuntha plane. That's the greatness of Srila Prabhupada, who gave us the path, who gave us the way to make death bow down before everyone, especially those who are practicing Krishna consciousness. They conquered the death. So we need to understand this the process, and we need to practice, and then we also become fearless at that point of death. We will all become fearless for death. So that's what in the previous verse also is saying, that people will become fearful at death, seeing the death. But by the process of Krishna consciousness, by practicing Krishna consciousness, we all become fearless, abhayam. That's the main symptom of one who is advancing in spiritual life. One becomes fearless. It's not fearless, it doesn't mean that one is like a kind of a stubborn, or one is irrelevant, or very not caring at all. No, it's not kind of that kind of fearlessness. Like a hero in the movies, generally they show they are fearless kind of persons. No, we know where to go when fear strikes. That's the meaning of fearlessness. We know how to handle fear. We approach Krishna. That means we are become fearless. Just like one beautiful example was illustrated by His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, that what it means by fearlessness of a devotee. So one time he was seeing in temple hall, one father, there was a kirtan, wonderful, beautiful kirtan was going on, very ecstatic kirtan. In the kirtan, there were grahasthas also, and one of the grahastha parents, one father, was picking up his child, his girl, his daughter, and he picked up the daughter. He was dancing with daughter. At one point of peak of the kirtan, he picked up the daughter, and he was throwing in air the child, the daughter. He was throwing up and down, just like generally children, they play with children, the father and mother, because she was bit small and younger, so practically he was throwing in air and catching her. So for children, it's very funny, very exciting moments when the father throws her in the air and catches her again and again. But he's saying about the fearlessness here, the beauty of understanding. The child is not at all fearful. He's saying, he was explaining that the child is so smiling, beaming, and charming and loving. She's experiencing the father's love by that activity of throwing her in air and catching. So the child is not thinking, okay, what will happen if I fall? What will happen? What are the probability if he loses by catching? And what will happen to me? There is no any kind of fear in the child. She doesn't have any knowledge of, okay, I am not the body, I am the soul. Even if I fall, nothing happens to the body. Nothing happens to the soul. The body may break. There is no kind of any analytical Sankhya Yoga understanding for the child. Child has simple faith in the father and of loving protection of the father. So that's the nature of the devotee. He's saying that, he's explaining. The devotee feels that experience of the Lord's protection in any condition of life. Especially we see in the Prahlad Maharaj's case that the Lord was personally protecting Prahlad Maharaj in all situations. And even when he was thrown from a hill. So that's the nature of the fearlessness of the devotee who experiences the Lord. This is also one of the symptoms of surrender that we have seen, that 6 symptoms of surrender. He has a complete faith that Krishna will protect him. That's where we become fearless. It doesn't mean that we have a fearlessness like it's in my head or whatever may come, I'll boldly face it on with my own strength. No, we depend on Father, Supreme Father. So here Prabhupada concludes with these are all purports, second kind of purports, very, very powerful and punching. You can go through your leisure time. Everyone is dead body flapping only for a few days, and yet all the energy of human life is being wasted in decoration of this dead body. So Prabhupada is understanding from the other side is also very beneficial for spiritual life. Just like drawbacks or the defects of the material life, defects of sense gratification, or the ill effects of sense gratification. When we understand from negative side, also it gives a push towards spiritual life. Both we need to have. Then only we advance more fast in spiritual life. Both the defects of sense gratification, defects of material life, and both the attractions and advantages of spiritual life by a combination of push and pull. There is a train called push-pull. Previously, I don't know now, but so when you have to, especially in Lonavala, when you have to go, when the train has to go on top of the hill, both sides you need a push and pull. Both behind there is engine, and before also there is an engine. Especially I think they use for Lonavala side, because the Lonavala is very high hilly area. Both needed a push and pull, so that it has a double effect. So push from the material world, which doesn't have any kind of attractive things in the material world, defects of sense gratification, defects of material life, and pull from opposite, the attractive spiritual world, what we are discussing, attraction of the special mercy of the Lord, special pastimes of the Lord, attraction towards the personalities of the spiritual world, personalities of acharyas. When we have pulling from that side, it becomes quite an effective journey in our spiritual life. Okay, we pause here for today. It's all, maybe I think 2-3 minutes are remaining. If you have one question, we will try to answer, and we'll continue in our next section. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a question. Prabhuji, the question that I am going to ask is weird. Actually, it's maybe due to my lack of ignorance, or it's due to curiosity and due to lack of knowledge and ignorance. Prabhuji, my question is, why Parikshit Maharaj knew that he is going to die after 7 days? Matlab, he will be leaving his body after 7 days. But why did he heard Srimad Bhagavatam? Why did he didn't chant the holy name? Actually, in our Bhakti Riksha class, 2 devotees caught up with cancer. Then they did, they most of the time did chanting actually. So why Parikshit Maharaj heard only Srimad Bhagavatam only?
Yeah, why Parikshit Maharaj heard Bhagavatam while he was leaving the body? Why didn't he chant it 7 days like Haridas Thakur continuously chanting?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Definitely. One thing, as we read from previous chapters, that in the 18th chapter, whole purport Prabhupada is bringing out at one point that it's a special arrangement of the Lord to use Parikshit Maharaj to bring out the Bhagavatam, which is the form of Krishna in Kali Yuga. Kalam Nashtadrishamesha Puranat Kudranatiha. So to bring out for all of us, for the benefit of all of us, Krishna is arranged a special situation. That Parikshit Maharaj could have gone back to Godhead just by chanting, because he was from such a background that he heard everything. What to speak of? Because from childhood he was there when Krishna was there when he was born. So he heard, and Krishna also was visiting Dwaraka. Visiting Hastinapur quite many times, because Krishna is so dear to Pandavas, and so dear Krishna is making plans to visit Hastinapur many times. And Yudhishthira also used to invite Krishna. Of course, after establishment of the kingdom, around 36 years they ruled, and after that they departed to north. So that 36 years they were always inviting. So Parikshit Maharaj had a complete understanding of who is Krishna, what is pastimes, and everything. He might have definitely heard, and he might have went. So it's for our sake, and as Krishna wanted that Bhagavatam has to have for the sake of everyone. Samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam. It has to come out. That is the main reason. Prabhupada only brings out in many of the purports, and Acharya also mentions. That is one thing. And what I understand is that it's also like kind of chanting, chanting, hearing. All this process of is the main thing is remembrance of Lord. Whether you chant, whether you read, whether you hear, whether you serve, the central point is to remember the Lord. Smaranam. This is the essence. So the essence of chanting is also remembering. Actually, when we chant the holy names, what we are doing? The main thing is we need to remember the Lord. I mean, right now it may not be possible, and it is quite difficult, current situation. But the essence of chanting is to remember the Lord. And we are trying to remember the Lord. We are endeavoring to remember the Lord while chanting, but we may be remembering 1,000 things. Pranam Santi Sahasrasa. 1,000 things we may keep on remembering while chanting, but that is not the essence of chanting. Chanting is essence is to remember the Lord. And Bhagavatam chanted by Sukadeva Goswami. He is hearing and is remembering the Lord also. So the essence is kept intact, remembrance of the Lord, glorifying the Lord. So that's my little understanding.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else has question? Okay, we'll pause here. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Randra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anantapati Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Can you release?